Well, good morning, students. This is your computer teacher, and today we are going to continue from where we left off in the previous session. Well, a quick recap says that in the previous session we did about the introduction of spreadsheet, where it is used, and some basic terminologies related to the components of LibreOffice Calc. But in this lecture, we are going to study about few options or few actions that we can perform. I think those actions are generally performed when you open up OpenOffice Calc. First being creating a workbook. And yes, without wasting any time, let's get straight to the practicality of LibreOffice Calc. So today I'm going to teach you how we can create a new workbook. Well, when you're going to open the LibreOffice Calc, immediately a new workbook will be displayed on the screen. But in case you're working on a workbook already, like let us say this is the workbook which is opened on the screen by default and I'm working on it, and if I want to open up a new workbook, then the steps will be, let me zoom in. I'll go to the file menu and I click on new, and then let's move to the spreadsheet. The shortcut key is displayed in front of you. You can see it over here, and let's mark it in the red color. The first thing that I'm going to choose over here is, oh, I think this is fine, is I'm going to click on new, and then I'm going to click on spreadsheet. And you can see I'm going to underline this by green color. The shortcut for the same is Control plus N. So this is how you can create a new workbook. So let's do it. Let's click on file, click on new, and then spreadsheet. Immediately you can see untitled 2. Let's zoom out to see. If I take this spreadsheet out, you can see earlier we were working on untitled 1, and now we have created a new workbook that is untitled 2. In LibreOffice, this is the latest version I'm using. You can see by default there is only one sheet, but you can add as many sheets as I explained in the previous session by clicking on this add sheet button, the plus icon. See, as many as you want. It's going to increment the sheets in your sheets tab with the serial number, and that's how you are going to add the sheets. If you want to delete the sheets, just right click, delete the sheet, and there you go. It's going to ask you for the confirmation. Click on yes. If you want to rename the sheet, just right click on the sheet on which you want the change of the name to take place, and then this rename sheet dialog box opens up, and let's make it final sheet. I have renamed, given a new name, and I'm going to click on OK, and there you go. You can see on the sheets tab the sheet name is changed. If you want to move this sheet in, left or right, just drag this sheet wherever you want. Let me just zoom in and do it again for you so that it is, clearly visible. There you go. You can see the cursor changing. Now it will be placed in between sheet 1 and sheet 2. Let's do it again. And there you go. It's placed between sheet 1 and sheet 2. Let's delete these sheets. And as discussed in the previous lecture also, a workbook is a collection of worksheets. So all these worksheets, sheet 1, final sheet, are a part of workbook which is untitled 2. The name of the workbook is visible on the title bar. Since it is unsaved file right now, so that's why it is untitled. But yes, we are going to learn how to save the file. But firstly, we have to add some data into the worksheet. Basically, there are three types of data. Let's just take you to the black screen where I can explain you the types of data. Three types of data that we can enter in a workbook or a worksheet. Number one is text. Anything that is made up of alphabets, numbers, symbols, special symbols comprise or is included into text. Whereas the second one is numeric data. Here from the name, it includes all the numbers for which we can do calculations. Third one is a special type of input which only worksheets handle, and I think that is why these worksheets are made for, and that is formulas. Formulas, or let's call it as functions. Most important thing over here is that the formula, let's change. I've explained you what text is. Text is made up of all the alphabets. Like when we type a name, a string of characters, numeric data includes the numbers on which we can perform calculations. Whereas formulas are always started with which symbol? You can tell me. Yes, you guessed it right. Equal to symbol. A formula or a function always starts from an equal to symbol. A formula or a function is always followed by an equal to symbol, and after the equal to symbol, a formula contains either the name of the function or the range, along with some operators. That operators define what kind of operation that formula performs. But we'll study on these formulas and functions in the later part of the chapter. But moving on, let's enter the data practically. Let's get out of this black area and let's move on to our workbook that we have. Let's zoom in. I think we studied in the previous lecture how to zoom in from this zoom slider. And here, let's type the data with name of students and class. The most important thing is you can see the name of the student is not completely filled in the sentence. So what in the cell, sorry. So what we are going to do is we are going to go between B and C. You can see the change in cursor. Let me zoom in, and then I'm going to click and drag it towards the right side so that it fits the cell. This is how you can change the width of a column. And then here, by the time we are entering the data, you can see and have a look at the values of name box and the formula bar, how things are changing inside these two components. You can see right now the cell which is active is B5. You can see the column B is highlighted and row 5 is highlighted, whereas the formula bar shows nothing, which means it is empty. Let me enter the data. I'm going to enter my name. Let's do this. I'm going to enter my name first, and then let's put on class ninth. Let's make it bold. We can apply all the formatting. There you go. And so let's give it a background color, which means that's a heading. And let's add some few more names. Let's put it Arjun, class 10th, Nilesh, class 7th, Kiran, class 8th. There you go. I think I have entered the data. This is the textual data. You can see it is comprised of all the alphabets. Now, if I write here marks, let's copy the formatting. How can we do that? You can take a look at this clone formatting button. Let me zoom in. See this paintbrush type. I'm going to click on this and then drop the paint bucket over here. So what it will do is it will not copy the contents, rather it is going to copy the formatting and it's going to drop on the destination cell on which the paint bucket appeared. Now for marks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the marks like 200, 250, 150, 175. There you go. Now these are numeric values. All these, even it is Roman numbers, these are textual values. The headings are textual values. These are numeric values. For the sake of the topic, I'm going to explain what is a formula. A formula, as I told you, always starts with an equal to sign. And let's put up a range, that is this one, that is cell D5 plus, I'm clicking on the cell that I want to add next, that is D6 plus D7 plus D8. And there you go. All the four cells have been included along with the operator, which is the plus operator that is going to add all these, four cells. As I click enter, you can see the formula is replaced with an actual value. So three kinds of things we can enter in a worksheet. Now, let's move on to the next section we can perform, that is saving a file. Now for that, again, we are going to go in the file menu, click on save. You can see there are two options: save, represented with control S. It's going to save your file. Okay. If you haven't saved a file initially, it is going to open up a save as dialog box. You will give a name, choose a file type, and that file will be stored. Whereas if you have already saved a file with the name and you want to change the name of the file, or you want to create another copy of that file, you will use save as function or save as option from this list. The shortcut key for the same is control plus shift plus S. Make sure you remember these shortcut keys, and let's use the save function for right now. You can see, let me zoom out, save as dialog box appears. I'll choose the location where I want to save it. I'll save it in the documents. I'm going to change the name. Let's see, grade 9 chapter spreadsheet lecture 2. I've given the name of the file, and you can see, as in save as type, let me zoom in, it's by default ODF spreadsheet. So let's take it as an ODF spreadsheet, and you can see from the list we can save it as an Excel file also. Excel 2003 version, Excel 2007 to 365, all are included. But right now we are working on LibreOffice, so we are going to save it as ODF spreadsheet. So I hope this is clear to you. We are going to select ODF spreadsheet, and we are going to click on save. Now the file will be saved. You can see the title bar has been changed from untitled to the name of the file, and you can see the extension is .ods. Don't get confused with the format. The spreadsheet type is ODF, but the extension is .ods. I repeat, the extension of spreadsheet in LibreOffice is ODS. Same as for OpenOffice Calc. So this is how you're going to save a file. And if you want to open up a saved file, for that, let me just, click on file, and let's go to new, and let's go to spreadsheet. Let us say I'm working on this one and I want to open the back one, previous one again. Let me just close that one first. There you go. I'm on untitled 2. I'm going to click on file again and click on open. You can see the shortcut key is control plus O. A dialog box is going to appear, and from here in documents I saved, I'm going to type the name, or I'm going to find the file over here, but let's take it. There you go. This was a file I just made, and I click on open, and you can see the file will open in front of you. This is how you are going to open up a file. And if you want to close that file, there are two ways. One is to close the application itself, which is, by clicking on this red cross key. It's not going to close that particular file, rather, it's going to close the application. The shortcut key For this close is Alt plus F4. I'll do it. Alt plus F4. The file has closed. You can see we are back to untitled 1. Whereas if I want to close this file, for that I'll go to again file menu and click on close. See, it's going to ask me the three things: whether I want to save the file, since it's not been saved even once. If any modification is done in a new file or even already saved file, the LibreOffice Calc detects that modification, and during the time of close, it's going to ask you whether you want to save that file or not. So either we can save that file, that means save the changes made to that file, or we can just discard the changes and click on don't save, and that thing will be closed without changes being saved. Or cancel to get rid of this dialog box and come back to the file again. And these are the only things that we are going to learn today. I hope you practice these at home. And if you're having any doubts, you always know that you can reach out to me. Till then, thank you very much. Take care. Stay safe. Bye bye.